The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the Zarquin Armada. Their sleek silver ships glided silently through the dark void, their engines humming with power. Captain Zalthor stood on the bridge of the flagship, his four eyes scanning the star-filled view before him. The captain's antennae twitched with pride as he gazed upon his fleet. The Zarquin were known across the galaxy for their advanced technology and peaceful explorations. Suddenly, a loud alarm blared through the ship. Red lights flashed, and the crew scrambled to their stations. Captain Zalthor's heart raced as he barked orders to his officers. "Status report. What's happening?" he demanded. His chief engineer, Vexala, frantically tapped at her control panel. Her voice shook as she replied, "Captain, our quantum drive is failing. All ships in the fleet are reporting the same issue." Zalthor's blood ran cold. The quantum drive was the core of their propulsion system. Without it, they would be stranded in the middle of nowhere. "Can we fix it?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Vexala shook her head, her long tentacles swaying with the motion. "Not without replacement parts, sir. We're losing power fast." The captain turned to his navigation officer. "Where are we? Any habitable systems nearby?" The young officer, Zintera, studied her charts with growing panic. "We're in uncharted space, sir. There's a small solar system about 2 light-years away, but we have no data on it." Zalthor made a quick decision. "Send a distress signal to Zarquin Prime. Then, use our remaining power to move towards that system. Maybe we'll find help there." As the crew carried out his orders, the captain addressed the entire fleet through the communication system. His voice echoed through every ship, reaching all 50,000 Zarquin on board. "My fellow Zarquin," he began, his tone calm despite the fear gripping his hearts, "we face a great challenge. Our quantum drives have failed, leaving us stranded far from home. But do not lose hope. We are the finest fleet in the galaxy, and together we will overcome this obstacle." He paused, letting his words sink in. "We are moving towards a nearby solar system. It is unknown to us, but it may be our best chance for help or resources. Stay calm, follow your training, and trust in each other. We will survive this." As Zalthor finished his speech, a wave of determination swept through the fleet. Crew members comforted each other, sharing rations, and working tirelessly to conserve power and maintain life support systems. Days passed as the Armada crawled through space on auxiliary power. The unknown solar system grew larger in their view screens. Excitement built among the crew as they began to study the planets. "Captain," Zintara called out, her voice filled with wonder. "The third planet from the star. It's habitable. Oxygen atmosphere, liquid water, moderate temperatures." A glimmer of hope sparked in Zalthor's chest. Any signs of civilization? The science officer, Krulvan, joined in. "Yes, sir. We're detecting radio signals and artificial satellites. It appears to be an industrial civilization, but not yet capable of interstellar travel." Zalthor pondered this information. An emerging civilization might not have the technology to help them, but it was better than an empty planet. "Take us into orbit around their moon," he ordered. "We'll observe them and decide how to make contact." As the fleet approached the blue-green planet, the crew marveled at its beauty. Oceans sparkled, white clouds swirled in the atmosphere, and green landmasses hinted at abundant life. "What do we know about the inhabitants?" Zalthor asked his science team. Krulvan studied the data streaming in. "They call themselves humans, sir. Bipedal mammals, diverse cultures, rapidly advancing technology. They seem to be in a period of great scientific and social progress." The captain nodded, a plan forming in his mind. "Prepare a detailed message explaining our situation. We'll broadcast it on multiple frequencies and hope they can decode it." As the communication team worked on the message, Zalthor gazed at the planet below. He couldn't shake the feeling that the fate of his entire armada now rested in the hands of these unknown humans. "Let's hope they're friendly," he muttered to himself, his antennae drooping with worry. Because right now, they're our only hope. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at her computer screen, her eyes wide with disbelief. The radio telescope data scrolling before her was unlike anything she had ever seen. She blinked hard, wondering if she was dreaming. "Hey, Mike," she called out to her colleague. "Come look at this. I think we've got something big." Dr. Mike Johnson hurried over, his coffee mug sloshing as he moved. He leaned in, squinting at the screen. "What am I looking at, Sarah?" "It's a signal," she explained, her voice trembling with excitement. "But not like any signal we've picked up before. It's structured, complex, and definitely not from Earth." Mike's jaw dropped. "Are you saying?" Sarah nodded, a grin spreading across her face. "I think we just detected an alien transmission." Within hours, the quiet research station was buzzing with activity. Scientists from around the world joined video calls, analyzing the data and debating its origin. Government officials demanded updates, and security teams swooped in to lock down the facility. As the sun rose the next day, Dr. Chen found herself facing a panel of stern-faced military and political leaders. She took a deep breath and began her presentation. "Ladies and gentlemen, the signal we've detected is coming from a fleet of ships in orbit around our moon. Based on our analysis, these ships are massive, far larger than anything we've ever built, and they're in trouble." She clicked to the next slide, showing a partially decoded message. "We believe their main propulsion system has failed. They're asking for help." The room erupted in a flurry of questions and exclamations. General Williams, a gruff man with a thick mustache, spoke up. "How do we know this isn't some kind of trick? It could be an invasion force." Dr. Chen shook her head. "The message is clear about their peaceful intentions. Plus, if they wanted to attack, why bother with the distress call? They're already here." The debate raged for hours. Scientists argued for making contact, while military leaders urged caution. Politicians worried about public panic if the news got out. Finally, the President of the United States stepped in. She had been quietly listening to all sides, her face a mask of concentration. Now she stood and addressed the room. "People of Earth," she began, her voice steady and calm, "we face a moment unlike any in human history. There are visitors at our doorstep, not from another country, but from the stars themselves. They come not as conquerors, but as refugees in need of our help." She paused, looking each person in the eye. "I believe this is a test, not just of our technological capabilities, but of our humanity. How we respond will define our species for generations to come." The President turned to Dr. Chen. "Doctor, I want you to lead a team to establish communication with our visitors. General Williams, begin preparations for a potential rescue mission. And to everyone else, we need to prepare the world for this news." As the meeting broke up, Dr. Chen felt a mix of excitement and terror. She was about to talk to aliens, but what would she say? Over the next few days, news of the alien Armada spread across the globe. Reactions ranged from joy to fear to disbelief. Religious leaders debated the implications for their faiths. Stock markets fluctuated wildly, and everywhere, people looked up at the sky with new wonder. In labs and workshops around the world, scientists and engineers worked around the clock. They pored over the alien transmissions, learning more about the visitors' technology and needs. Governments pooled resources, setting aside old rivalries in the face of this unprecedented situation. Dr. Chen barely slept, coordinating efforts and refining their messages to the aliens. When she finally established a reliable communication link, her hand shook as she typed out humanity's first official greeting. "Welcome to Earth. We hear your call for help, and we are answering. You are not alone. Together, we will find a way to get you home." As she hit send, Dr. Chen felt the weight of history on her shoulders. Whatever happened next would change everything. Humanity was about to step onto the galactic stage, ready or not. The sprawling NASA facility buzzed with unprecedented activity. Engineers, scientists, and technicians from every corner of the globe worked tirelessly, their faces etched with determination. In the center of this whirlwind stood Akira Tanaka, the brilliant Japanese aerospace engineer chosen to lead the rescue mission. Akira's eyes darted between holographic displays showing spacecraft designs and propulsion schematics. He rubbed his temple, feeling the weight of the world, no, the galaxy, on his shoulders. "How's the fusion drive coming along, Dr. Patel?" he called out to his Indian colleague. Dr. Patel looked up from her workstation, dark circles under her eyes betraying countless sleepless nights. "We're making progress, Akira. But adapting our tech to interface with the alien quantum drive is challenging." Akira nodded, understanding the monumental task before them. They weren't just building a spaceship, they were creating a bridge between two civilizations. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the facility. Red lights flashed as security personnel rushed to their stations. Akira's heart raced. Had there been an accident? An attack? A booming voice came over the intercom. "Attention all personnel. This is a drill. I repeat, this is a drill. Commence emergency protocol Alpha 9. Akira let out a sigh of relief, then smiled. General Williams, ever the cautious military man, had insisted on regular drills to keep everyone sharp. As annoying as they were, Akira couldn't deny their importance. One mistake could doom not just the mission, but potentially Earth's relationship with their new alien neighbors. As the drill proceeded, Akira's mind wandered to the volunteers. Thousands had stepped forward from every nation, eager to join the rescue mission. The selection process had been grueling, narrowing the field to a diverse team of the best and brightest humanity had to offer. He thought of Maria Gonzalez, the fearless pilot from Argentina with nerves of steel, of Dr. Quemo Sue, the Ghanaian xenobiologist whose theories on alien physiology could prove crucial, and of Yuki Chen, the teenage prodigy whose insights into the alien language had accelerated their communications tenfold. The drill ended, and work resumed at its frantic pace. Akira made his rounds, checking on each team's progress. In the medical bay, doctors and geneticists worked to ensure the human crew could withstand the rigors of prolonged space travel. "How are the radiation shields coming along?" Akira asked Dr. Yevgeny Kuznetsov, a burly Russian physicist. Yevgeny grinned, his beard failing to hide his excitement. "Better than we hoped, my friend. We've adapted the aliens' own shielding technology. Our crew will be safer than babies in the womb." Across the facility, in a cavernous hangar, the rescue ships themselves took shape. Sleek and powerful, they represented the pinnacle of human engineering, augmented by insights gleaned from the alien transmissions. Akira paused to admire the flagship, christened Unity. Its hull gleamed under the bright lights, a symbol of hope and human perseverance. He placed his hand on the cool metal, whispering a silent prayer for the success of their mission. As evening fell, Akira called a meeting of the core team. They gathered in the command center, faces tired but determined. "Listen up, everyone," Akira began, his voice firm. "I know we're all exhausted. I know the pressure is immense. But what we're doing here, it's bigger than any one of us. We're not just saving lives. We're opening the door to a new era for humanity." He paused, looking each team member in the eye. "Every problem we solve, every breakthrough we make, brings us one step closer to the stars. Our alien friends need our help, yes, but they're also giving us a gift, the chance to prove what humanity is capable of when we work together." The room fell silent as his words sank in. Then, slowly, smiles spread across weary faces. Determination hardened into resolve. Dr. Patel spoke up, her voice strong despite her fatigue. "We won't let you down, Akira. We won't let Earth down." Akira nodded, feeling a surge of pride. "Then let's get back to work. We've got an armada to save and a galaxy to meet." As the team dispersed, renewed energy pulsing through the facility, Akira turned to the window. He gazed up at the night sky, knowing that somewhere up there, an alien fleet waited, their hopes pinned on the ingenuity and compassion of a young species taking its first steps into a larger universe. The rescue mission was more than a technical challenge. It was humanity's chance to show the best of itself, to extend a hand of friendship across the cosmic void. And Akira Tanaka was determined to see it succeed, no matter the cost. The massive engines of the Unity roared to life, shaking the launch pad with their immense power. Inside the ship's bridge, Captain Maria Gonzalez gripped her seat tightly, her eyes fixed on the countless displays before her. This was it, the moment humanity had been preparing for over the past months. "All systems go," her co-pilot, Lai Wei, announced, his voice steady despite the tension. Maria nodded, taking a deep breath. "Mission Control, this is Unity. We are ready for launch." Akira Tanaka's voice crackled through the comm system. "Unity, you are cleared for takeoff. Godspeed, and good luck. The hopes of two worlds go with you." With a deafening roar, Unity lifted off, pushing against Earth's gravity. The rescue fleet followed. 5 ships in total, each carrying specialized crews and equipment. As they broke through the atmosphere, the blackness of space enveloped them. Dr. Kwame Osi floated into the bridge, his face a mix of excitement and anxiety. "Captain, all crew members are secured, and the medical bay is prepped for any emergencies." "Excellent," Maria replied, her eyes never leaving the controls. "How are our passengers holding up?" Kwame chuckled. "The 2 Zarquin ambassadors are fascinated by everything. I think they're handling 0G better than some of our own crew." The decision to bring alien representatives had been controversial, but ultimately necessary. Their knowledge would be crucial for the rescue operation. As Earth shrank behind them, the reality of their mission began to sink in. They were leaving everything they knew, venturing into the unknown to save a species they had never met. Days turned into weeks as the fleet pushed deeper into space. The crew settled into routines, running drills and fine-tuning their equipment. But the stress of their mission was ever present. One evening, Maria found Yuki Chen, the young language prodigy, staring out a viewport, her expression troubled. "Everything okay, Yuki?" Maria asked gently. Yuki turned, her eyes wide. "What if we can't do it, Captain? What if we fail?" Maria placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "We won't fail. You know why? Because we're not just 5 ships out here. We're carrying the best of humanity with us. Our compassion, our ingenuity, our determination. That's something no technical problem can overcome." Yuki smiled, nodding slowly. "You're right. We can do this." As they neared the coordinates of the stranded Zarquin fleet, excitement and tension built. Dr. Yevgeny Kuznetsov worked tirelessly, ensuring their shielding would hold against any space hazards. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout Unity. "Captain," Lai Wei shouted, "massive solar flare detected. It's heading straight for us." Maria's training kicked in instantly. "All hands, brace for impact. Yevgeny, divert all power to the shields." The fleet raced to outmaneuver the deadly wave of radiation. Unity shuddered as the edge of the flare struck them. Sparks flew from consoles, and for a heart-stopping moment, it seemed like they might not make it. But Yevgeny's shields held. As the danger passed, cheers erupted throughout the ship. They had faced their first major crisis and survived. As they recovered and repaired their systems, a new challenge emerged. Their long-range sensors detected an immense debris field between them and the Zarquin fleet. "It must be the remains of an ancient battle," Lai Wei mused, studying the sensor readings. Maria frowned. Navigating through that would be treacherous, but they had no choice. "All right, people, this is what we trained for. Let's thread this needle." For days, the human fleet carefully picked its way through the debris. Massive chunks of alien metal drifted past their viewports, remnants of long-forgotten conflicts. It was a sobering reminder of the dangers that lurked in the vastness of space. Finally, they cleared the field. And there in the distance, they saw it. The Zarquin Armada, thousands of ships gleaming in the light of an alien sun. "My God," Quain whispered, "it's beautiful." Maria straightened in her chair, her voice firm as she addressed her crew. "This is it, everyone. First contact. Remember your training, but more importantly, remember why we're here. We're not just representing Earth now. We're representing the very best of what it means to be human." As Unity led the fleet towards the stranded Armada, Maria felt a mix of fear and exhilaration. They were about to make history, to forge a bond between two species separated by the vast gulfs of space. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew that this moment, this extension of a helping hand across the stars, would change the course of human history forever. "Open a channel," she commanded. "Let's say hello to our new friends." The bridge of Unity fell silent as Captain Maria Gonzalez cleared her throat. All eyes were fixed on the massive view screen showing the Zarquin Armada looming before them. Maria's finger hovered over the communication panel, her heart pounding. "This is Captain Maria Gonzalez of the Earth vessel Unity," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves. "We come in peace and offer our assistance." For a moment, there was only static. Then, a deep, melodious voice responded. "Earth vessel Unity, this is Captain Zalthor of the Zarquin Armada. Your arrival brings great joy to our people." A collective sigh of relief swept through Unity's bridge. First contact had been made, and it was friendly. "Permission to dock with your flagship, Captain Zalthor?" Maria asked. "Permission granted, Captain Gonzalez. We await you with great anticipation." As Unity maneuvered towards the Zarquin flagship, the crew scrambled to prepare. Dr. Quaim Osei double-checked his xenobiology kit, while Yuki Chen rehearsed greeting phrases in the Zarquin language. The docking procedure was tense, with both ships' crews working carefully to align their vastly different technologies. With a soft thud and a hiss of equalizing pressure, the connection was made. Maria stood before the airlock, flanked by Quaim and Yuki. "Remember," she said softly, "we're making history here. Let's make Earth proud." The airlock cycled open, revealing their first view of the Zarquin. Captain Zalthor stood tall, his 4 arms held wide in a gesture of welcome. His iridescent scales shimmered under the lights, and his 4 eyes blinked in curiosity. Yuki stepped forward, her voice only trembling slightly as she spoke in the Zarquin language. "Greetings, friends from the stars. We come to offer aid and friendship." Zalthor's eyes widened in surprise and delight. He responded in his own language, which Yuki quickly translated for the others. "Your mastery of our tongue honors us," Zalthor said. "Please, enter our humble vessel." As the human delegation stepped aboard the Zarquin ship, they were struck by its alien beauty. Curved walls pulsed with soft bioluminescence, and gravity seemed to shift subtly beneath their feet. Zalthor led them to a large chamber where other Zarquin waited. The aliens regarded the humans with a mix of curiosity and hope. "We cannot express our gratitude enough," Zalthor said, his translator now active. "When our drives failed, we feared we would drift for eternity. Your response to our call brings us new hope." Maria nodded solemnly. "We're honored to help. Our engineers are eager to work with yours to solve this problem." As if on cue, Dr. Yevgeny Kuznetsov stepped forward, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "Captain Zalthor, with your permission, I'd like to examine your quantum drive systems. I believe we can integrate our fusion technology to get you moving again." Zalthor's upper arms gestured in what seemed to be agreement. "Of course. Our chief engineer, Vexala, will assist you." As the 2 engineering teams began to collaborate, an awkward but friendly atmosphere developed. Humans and Zarquin alike were bursting with questions for each other. Quaim found himself deep in conversation with a Zarquin biologist, comparing notes on their species' physiologies. Yuki was surrounded by curious Zarquin, teaching them Earth languages and learning more of their own. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Cultural misunderstandings arose quickly. When a young human engineer accidentally brushed against a Zarquin's lower arm, The alien recoiled in shock. Apparently, lower arms were considered private appendages in their culture. "I'm so sorry," the engineer stammered, mortified. Zalthor quickly intervened. "No offense taken. We understand there is much for us all to learn." As the day wore on, progress was made on multiple fronts. The engineering teams began to understand the complexities of merging their technologies. Cultural exchanges deepened, with both sides sharing stories, music, and even food. After careful analysis to ensure biocompatibility, Maria watched it all with a sense of awe. Here they were, two species from different corners of the galaxy, working together, learning from each other. It was everything she had hoped for when she volunteered for this mission. As the first day of contact drew to a close, Zalthor approached Maria. "Captain Gonzalez, your people's kindness and ingenuity have impressed us greatly. We would be honored to form a lasting friendship between our species." Maria smiled, extending her hand in the human gesture of agreement. After a moment's hesitation, Zalthor reached out with his upper right arm, grasping her hand gently. "The honor is ours, Captain Zalthor," Maria replied. "I believe this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship for both our peoples." As human and alien stood there, hand in hand, both felt the weight of history upon them. This was more than a rescue mission now. It was the dawn of a new era for both their species, full of possibility and hope. The days that followed were a whirlwind of activity aboard both the human and Zarquin vessels. In the cavernous engine room of the alien flagship, Dr. Yevgeny Kuznetsov worked tirelessly alongside Vexala, the Zarquin chief engineer. Their task was monumental: to merge Earth's fusion technology with the advanced quantum drives of the alien Armada. "Pass me the photon coupler, will you?" Yevgeny called out, his head buried deep inside an alien control panel. A Zarquin assistant blinked in confusion, its 4 eyes darting between unfamiliar tools. Vexella intervened, her tentacles gracefully selecting the correct device. "I believe this is what he means," she said, handing it to Yevgeny. "Ah, perfect. Thank you," Yevgeny replied, flashing a thumbs up before remembering that the gesture meant nothing to his alien colleagues. As the engineering teams made progress, other collaborations flourished. Dr. Quaim Osei found himself in the Zarquin medical bay, marveling at their advanced healing technologies. He watched in awe as a Zarquin doctor used a beam of light to instantly close a wound. "Incredible," Quaim muttered. "This could revolutionize medicine back on Earth." The Zarquin doctor, Zintera, tilted her head curiously. "You mean you don't have cellular regeneration technology? How do you treat severe injuries?" Quaim laughed. "Well, we have a lot to learn from each other, it seems." Meanwhile, Yuki Chen's linguistic skills were put to the test as she worked to create a comprehensive translation system. She sat surrounded by holographic displays, her young face scrunched in concentration as she mapped the complex grammar of the Zarquin language. "Yuki," Captain Maria Gonzalez called out, entering the makeshift linguistics lab. "How's it going?" Yuki looked up, her eyes bright with excitement despite her obvious fatigue. "It's amazing, Captain. Their language is so complex, but beautiful. Did you know they have 7 different words for cooperation, each with a subtle shade of meaning?" Maria smiled, proud of her young prodigy. "That's fascinating. Keep up the good work, but don't forget to rest, okay?" As the rescue operation progressed, unexpected challenges arose. During a test of the new hybrid propulsion system, a power surge caused a section of the Zarquin ship to lose gravity. Human and alien crew members found themselves floating helplessly, tumbling through corridors. Quick thinking by both species saved the day. Zarquin used their multiple arms to create a living chain, anchoring themselves and catching floating humans. The Earth crew, more accustomed to zero-G environments, helped guide their new friends to safety. The incident, while frightening, served to bring the two species closer together. Shared danger and mutual reliance forged bonds stronger than any official treaty. But the greatest test was yet to come. As the final preparations for the Armada's departure were underway, long-range sensors detected a massive asteroid field moving into their path. The field was too large to go around, and too dense to safely navigate through. Captain Zalthor and Captain Gonzalez stood side by side on the Zarquin Bridge, studying the holographic display of the approaching danger. "If we can't move the ships, perhaps we can move the asteroids," Maria suggested, an idea forming. Zalthor's antennae twitched with interest. "What do you propose?" "A combined effort," Maria explained. "We use your tractor beams to grab the largest asteroids and our fusion drives to push them aside, clearing a path." The plan was risky, requiring precise coordination between human and Zarquin ships. But with no other options, they set to work. What followed was a delicate dance in space. Zarquin vessels locked onto massive space rocks with shimmering energy beams, while human ships maneuvered into position. At Maria's command, fusion drives flared to life, pushing against the asteroids with incredible force. Slowly, painstakingly, a path began to clear. The bridge crews of both species watched with bated breath as the gap widened, hoping it would be enough. Finally, after hours of intense work, a cheer erupted across the comm channels. They had done it. A safe passage lay before them, a testament to what their two species could accomplish together. As the celebration died down, Captain Zalthor turned to Maria, his four eyes blinking with emotion. "Captain Gonzalez, we came to your solar system as strangers in need. We leave as friends, having learned more than we could have imagined. The Zarquin will never forget the kindness and bravery of humanity." Maria nodded, her own eyes misting slightly. "And we've gained more than we ever dreamed, Captain Zalthor. This is just the beginning of a beautiful friendship between our peoples." As human and Zarquin crews made final preparations for departure, there was a sense of bittersweetness in the air. They had faced challenges together, learned from each other, and forged bonds that transcended the vast distances of space. Whatever the future held, both species knew that they were no longer alone in the universe. The vast expanse of space twinkled with countless stars as the combined fleet of human and Zarquin ships prepared for their final farewell. On the Bridge of Unity, Captain Maria Gonzalez stood tall, her eyes glistening with a mix of pride and sadness. "All systems check complete, Captain," Lai Wei reported from his station. "We're ready for the jump back to Earth." Maria nodded, then turned to the comms officer. "Open a channel to the Zarquin flagship, please." The view screen flickered to life, revealing Captain Zalthor's alien visage. His four eyes blinked in what the humans had come to recognize as a smile. "Captain Gonzalez." Zalthor's melodious voice filled the bridge. "We are ready to begin our journey home. Thanks to your people's ingenuity and kindness, our fleet lives again." Maria smiled back. "It was our honor, Captain Zalthor. This mission has changed us all, I think, for the better." Zalthor's antennae twitched in agreement. "Indeed. The Zarquin will carry the story of Earth's bravery and compassion to the farthest reaches of the galaxy." As the two captains exchanged final words, activity bustled throughout both fleets. On the Zarquin ships, alien crew members said goodbye to their human friends, exchanging gifts and promises to stay in touch. Dr. Quaim Osei found himself surrounded by a group of Zarquin medical staff. "Remember," he said, holding up a data crystal, "this contains all our medical knowledge. Use it well, and may it save many lives." Zintera, the Zarquin doctor, placed a shimmering device in Quaim's hand in return. "And this holds the secrets of our cellular regeneration technology. We trust you to use it wisely." In the engine room, Dr. Yevgeny Kuznetsov and Vexela made final adjustments to the hybrid drive system. "It's beautiful," Yevgeny mused, admiring the pulsing energy core, "a perfect blend of our technologies." Vexela's tentacles curled in agreement, a symbol of what our species can achieve together. The stars themselves will remember this collaboration, my friend. Meanwhile, young Yuki Chen was busy uploading the final version of the translation matrix to both fleets' computers. Tears streamed down her face as she worked, overwhelmed by the magnitude of what they had accomplished. "Why do you leak water, small one?" a curious Zarquin asked. Yuki laughed through her tears. "It's how humans show strong emotions. I'm just so happy and sad at the same time. We've learned so much, but now we have to say goodbye." The Zarquin placed a comforting lower arm on her shoulder. "Not goodbye, just until we meet again." Back on the bridge, Maria addressed her crew one last time before departure. "Everyone, I couldn't be prouder of what we've accomplished here. We came to save a stranded fleet, but we gained so much more. We've made friends among the stars, proven that humanity can rise to any challenge, and opened the door to a future filled with endless possibilities." She paused, looking each crew member in the eye. "When we return to Earth, things will be different. We carry with us knowledge that will change our world forever. But we also carry a responsibility to use what we've learned wisely, to prepare humanity for its place in a larger galactic community." As Maria finished speaking, a signal came from the Zarquin fleet. It was time. "All right, people," Maria said, settling into her captain's chair. "Let's go home." With a brilliant flash of energy, the Zarquin Armada vanished into the quantum slipstream, bound for their home world. Moments later, Unity and her sister ships engaged their own drives, streaking away in a blaze of fusion fire. As Earth grew larger in their view screens, the crew of Unity felt a profound sense of change. They were returning as heroes, yes, but also as ambassadors of a new age for humanity. News of their success had already reached Earth. As they entered orbit, they could see celebrations erupting across the globe. Cities were lit up with welcome messages, and world leaders prepared for a new era of unity and purpose. Maria stood at the view screen, watching her blue homeworld spin below. She thought of Captain Zalthor and his people, now safely on their way home. She thought of the challenges that lay ahead, as humanity grappled with its new place in the cosmos. But mostly, she thought of the moment when two species, separated by vast gulfs of space and evolution, had reached out to each other in friendship and cooperation. In that moment, the universe had become a little less vast, a little less lonely. As Unity began its descent towards a changed Earth, Maria whispered to herself, "This isn't the end. It's just the beginning of our greatest adventure." And somewhere, in the vast expanse of space, the Zarquin fleet traveled on, carrying with them the story of the day humanity reached out across the stars and saved an alien armada, a story that would be told and retold across countless worlds for generations to come.